Hey everybody, I'm Bernie Gartling, and this is the IRS Fix, brought to you by the Gartling Group. Now, we're going to talk today about...
What are we going to ponder?
We're going to talk about the imponderables
Of life.
of life.
It's so true,
and,
isn't it?
and prune juice and chicken and eggs.
Well, let's talk about prune juice.
Let's talk about... And now, this has everything to do with taxes, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to get there.
Where does prune juice come from?
Well, it comes from prunes, right? They get the juice from the prunes.
Let me think about that.
Okay?
All right, go ahead.
But here's the interesting thing. What's a prune? It's a dried up plum.
Of course.
So how the hell do they get prune juice from something that's dried up?
Are you going to tell us?
No. That's just an imponderable. That's something I've pondered. And along that line, how does that apply to taxes? Let's talk about your reimbursed employee expenses. A lot of you are out there, you got your W-2s, you're working for the man, and now come tax time, you fill out your 1040, and on your Schedule A, your itemized deductions, it says to list your unreimbursed employee expenses. Now, I'm the type of guy who's thinking, well, gosh, it says list your unreimbursed employee expenses, and we take that as a deduction. Okay, what about the other hand? What about if I have reimbursed employee expenses? Where do I report my reimbursed employee expenses, Bernie?
Well, let's go back to the unreimbursed employee expenses. So there's a form for that.
Yep.
And there's a certain spot on your Schedule A that says you put in the amount here. In other words, you're taking money out of your pocket to support and advertise and market your employer.
Yep.
And so the government allows you to take that as a deduction. So you take it as a deduction. But if the employer reimburses you, no way, that says unreimbursed. So if he reimburses you, there's no place to put it.
And if there's no place to put it on your tax return, what's that mean?
That means it's not reportable income.
Woohoo! That's fantastic. That's the bottom line of today's presentation. Today's presentation is about reimbursement plans with your business. If you're a small business owner, you can do the exact same thing that the large corporations do. You can reimburse yourself for those valid expenses that you as an employee take on behalf of your business. So I'm going to say that again. You have a business. You personally incur valid business expenses. Your business can write you a check for those valid expenses. The business gets to write that off. You don't have to report that income. It is non-taxable income to you. How great is that?
That is wonderful. That is wonderful.
It really is. Now let's talk about a valid use for that. Home office deduction. Probably one of the highest audited areas of people's tax returns, and yet people still do it all the time. So on a home office deduction, you write down on Schedule C or whatever the proper form is that you have a home office. By the way, it has to be used exclusively 100% for the home office, otherwise you don't get the deduction, and it's a red flag. On the same hand, though, or to switch things up a little bit, we can always have your business just reimburse you for your home office expenses. Doesn't get reported anywhere, it's not a red flag, and the facility doesn't have to be used 100% for your business. Let's talk about whenever I sell the home, Bernie. If I've used the home office deduction and I sell my property, what happens?
You have a tax situation that you have to recapture.
Yeah, anytime you've taken off that home office deduction, there's depreciation as part of that.
That's correct.
And now, whenever you sell the property, normally, if you've lived there 2 years out of 5, you get an exclusion of $250,000 or $500,000 if married, except for depreciation recapture. If I take a home office deduction, I have to recapture that depreciation. With the reimbursement plan, what happens, Bernie?
There's no recapture.
No recapture. What a fantastic thing. And there is another great thing about the reimbursement program instead of the home office, but I just can't think of it right now. Bernie, any other thoughts on it?
No. What are you going to talk about?
Well, that's all I really want to talk about. I wanted to just keep this short and brief and let people aware of this. But bottom line today, explore the possibilities of reimbursement plan between you and your business. It's a fantastic way to get tax-free money out of your business, and yet your business gets a tax deduction. Does it get any better? Tax-free money and generates deductions. Bernie?
You are the man, the myth, the legend. You know that?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I believe it's you.
Well, anyway, this concludes what we're going to talk about today, and I'm sure that you understand that if you are working for the man and you have expenses taken out of your pocket, there is a place on your tax form to take it as a deduction. But if you get reimbursed, that's not income. There is no place to declare it as income. So, a word to the wise.